G'day, I'm Justin Porter, and today's date is the 20th of February 2024, and the title of my video tonight is Born Gay. Now, I wasn't born gay, I'm heterosexual, but it's very interesting. There was a case in America of two identical twins. They look the same, right? So there's two eggs, two embryos. Now the human embryo looks a lot like a dolphin embryo, a whale embryo, a dog embryo, a pig embryo. They all have the gill slits. If you look at human embryos, they all have the gill slits, the gill slits, because we all evolved from the ocean. So they look identical. So what happens as these embryos grow, they get the little limb buds, 4 limb buds, birds. Some turn into birds, some turns into fish and dolphins. So they all get the 4 little limb buds. Then the brain appears. And when you get these 23 chromosomes, so 23 chromosomes on the DNA helix strand. So what happens when the testes, the Y chromosome, 2 X chromosomes make a girl, an X chromosome and a Y chromosome make a boy. So when you get the Y chromosome, it's a male, so the testes start forming. And what happens after the testes start forming? Testosterone gets produced. Now testosterone goes to the brain of the developing baby, goes to the brain. So when the testosterone goes to the brain of those baby boys, those identical twin baby boys, that will be the sex drive. A lot of testosterone, they'll be very attracted to women, very heterosexual. But if the other twin, siamese twin, doesn't get enough testosterone to the brain, that's where homosexuality comes from, because the developing embryo in the womb isn't getting enough testosterone. So that's a case in America or England where identical twins, boys, one becomes straight heterosexual, the other one becomes gay. It's because one of the embryos didn't get enough testosterone to the brain. And there's different amounts of testosterone to the brain, and he didn't get enough, so he turned out gay. So when you have children, you have about a 4% chance, just under 5%. It's a bit more than 4. So it's just under 5% chance of getting a homosexual child, a child that doesn't get enough of the hormone. Or the female hormone is estrogen, and with the DNA helix strand, 23 chromosomes, and all embryos look the same. Interesting, humans have 23 chromosomes, yeah, and 2 X chromosomes will make a girl, and an X and a Y chromosome will make a boy. With apes, interesting enough, with chimpanzees have 24 chromosomes, 1 more chromosome than a human. But with a human, 2 of the last chromosomes break off the helix. Yeah, the helix ladder. It's like a twisted ladder. They break off and form into 1 chromosome. So you go from 23 to 24, as in a chimpanzee, and you have 24. And that's the same for bonobos. Because we're 98.8% DNA with a chimpanzee and a bonobo. So chimps are more closely related to human beings than they are, chimps are related more to human beings than they are to orangutans or gorillas, which they share a 95% DNA chromosome, you know. They're those little things between the ladders, and they look at them, they're identical, but they're slight difference, you know. So there's 24 chromosomes on a chimpanzee. With a human, there's 24, but 1 breaks off, joins together, and makes 23. It's fascinating. And why don't creationists accept evolution? The only thing I can think of is it's the afterlife. It's the afterlife. They want to go to heaven. They want people to go to hell, so there's justice, for the wicked. Or they want to live on a paradise earth if they're a Jehovah's Witness. Or they want to be raptured to heaven if they're a Seventh-day Adventist. They believe in the rapture, that they'll be caught up into heaven. So that's basically why evolution does lead to atheism. Now, it's very interesting, as I said, the Catholic Church believes in evolution, and they teach that in Catholic schools, because I went to a Catholic school. I went to Christian Brothers High School between 1975 and 1977. I went to Christian Brothers High School. Even though my family wasn't that religious, they were like agnostic atheists, I still went to a Catholic school because I was religious. I believed in God. And very interesting enough, they taught evolution. And I thought, evolution? You're teaching evolution? I said, what about the Adam and Eve story? And one of the Christian brothers at school said, Adam and Eve is just a myth, it's just a fable, it's just a moral story. And then I thought, wait a minute, weren't they the ones, isn't it the reason why Jesus died for our sin? Because they sinned. And when I studied with Jehovah's Witnesses, the first book that I studied with Jehovah's Witnesses was back in 1989, and it was How Did Life Get Here by Evolution or Creation? And I studied that book with Jehovah's Witnesses, and I believed in creation. Unfortunately, I found out later that the Jehovah's Witnesses had misquoted a lot of those evolutionary biologists. And some of those evolutionary biologists were actually Christian. So there is some evolutionary biologists that are still Christian, but the majority of evolutionary biologists are atheists. Interesting enough. It's interesting I mentioned the gill slits. Human embryos have gill slits because we used to breathe through the gills when we were fish. You ever wondered why humans get hiccups? You get the hiccups because that's to get excess air out of the gills. That's why we hiccup. And we have a tailbone, the little thing in the middle of the eye, that little bit of skin, that little flap of skin between the eye there, that used to come over the whole eye, as in some reptiles. It covers the whole eye, and that's why you've got that bit of flap of skin. The wisdom tooth is, we used to eat raw vegetables that were pretty hard. So humans used to have bigger teeth for grinding, but they went smaller. And as I said before, as a language, as the English language changed, words were lost, words were added. It's the same with the DNA strand. It changes over time, over thousands of years, And also the hair on the arm. Why does your hair stand up on end? Goosebumps. It's a sign of evolution. So the hair stands up on end to make you look bigger when you're going to get attacked by a lion. And the appendix at the end of the large intestines, just a nuisance thing. That's a vestigial organ. That's an organ that we no longer use. And how can creationists explain that, And also, our eyes aren't that wonderful. Our eyes aren't that wonderful because a lot of people can't see like an eagle eyes. Why didn't God give people eyes like eagles, who have the best eyesight? Human eyes aren't that good. But there's a whole variety of eyes. You can put them up from the worms, who have like a pinhole shoebox. Remember when you were a kid, you'd make the shoebox pinhole camera? Well, they have an eye like that, and that stops them from bumping into things. And the eyes range from simple all the way to complex. Octopus eyes, flies, spiders have 8 eyes. They all have different vision, all different designs of eye. Just like there is just like religions, there's all types of designed religion. Natural selection. We'll take that religious doctrine out of the Bible, we'll select that, and we'll pick this and that, and So as I said, that evolution has no goal. Chimpanzees aren't evolving into humans. Chimpanzees will evolve into whatever happens to them, and that's purely by chance. So evolution doesn't have a goal. Changes chimp, because we didn't evolve from chimps, we evolved from humans. And you ever see those pictures of the monkeys all the way up to the human? It goes up, ape, more ape. Where do you pick the ape? Well, that's not really a good illustration. That's not a good diagram. A more accurate diagram is a family tree. In a family tree, it's like a tree, branches on a tree. The primate branch, there, it's the main bough of a tree, branched off into chimpanzees, bonobos branched off from chimps. Humans were separately, we came separate, but we're still primates. And interesting, did you know that wasps evolved from ants? Wasps evolved from ants because they have found fossilised ants in tree sap, and they have curly antennae, just like a wasp, where modern day ants have square antennas. So if wasps evolved from ants, why are there still ants, you may ask? Well, if chihuahuas evolved from wolves, why are there still wolves? And if ducks evolved from birds, why are there still birds? That's an interesting question, isn't it? Can't have Tommy tonight. Tommy the Devon Rex apostocat. My apostocat is with Nikki, and she's in a watchtower. Oh, not a watchtower study, a Tuesday night theocratic ministry school meeting. And she's learning how to go door to door, She's on the Zoom meeting. And Tommy the apostocat the other day chewed through Nikki's speaker wires on her computer, because Tommy the apostocat got sick of listening to the Jehovah's Witness meeting, so he chewed through the wires. And Tommy also chewed through the wire of Nikki's mobile phone cord, so we had to buy another mobile phone cord, and we've got to get speakers fixed up, and because he chewed through the wires. Kittens, they chew. He's teething, And if you haven't seen Tommy the apostocat, look at my previous videos. Not the last one, but the one before that. So that's all I wanted to say tonight. It's about 12 minutes. And, and thanks for watching. Got nothing more to say. And don't forget, an apple a day keeps God away. An apple a day keeps God away. Thank you for listening.